Hello, fellow advisors at Tactive. Rick Dwyer here, Chief Operating Officer of Tactive. I'm here with Rob Isbitz, Lead Strategist at Sungarden. How's it going, Rob?
Hey, doing okay, Rick. The summer travels continue. Here we are in Boston, Massachusetts. We've been for a couple of weeks, and one thing about this city, people are extremely bright and they're very financial savvy. So it's been a pleasure to be kind of up in this part of the country where, as you know, one of my daughters goes to school, folks. So.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, so just so everybody knows, Rob's remote in Boston, and some of his audio comes in a little garbled, so he may actually turn off his video so that we can go ahead and get some better quality sound. So, Rob, can you give the advisors an update on where things stand with respect to your models as a result of what the markets have been doing?
Sure. And, everybody's used to me kind of painting a bearish picture, and I still am. I still think S&P 500 ultimately ends up with a two handle. It's sitting around 4,000 now. Don't know when, but I can see a path, and I can make a case for the rest of July and August being one of the, let's say, less frazzled times of this year. We're not there yet. Need a little more of a push through, but I would say, because I know you'll ask me this later, I'm still about as bearish as you can get intermediate to long term, but I'm allowing for the possibility of a little bit of a rally period here, and that is reflected in the models. So I guess we'll start with core. We have a couple of positions we made a slight gain on recently. XT, which is the really kind of like an ARC fund, if you will, the famous ARC fund, but a more low key version of it. But it tends to be more innovative, higher growth potential companies, and XLG. Which is the 50 largest stocks in the S&P 500, so very FANG concentrated. And, those have been providing some octane to the core portfolio, which I think, as the advisors know, is really a bond replacement. It doesn't use bonds necessarily, other than tactically, because everything we're doing is tactical, but it replaces what bonds used to do, give you a consistent return with low drawdown level, but in a bull market, boy, it can run higher. But let me know when you see another bull market, and then we'll see how core does. But we're as open-ended on the upside as possible, as one of the advisors likes to say. Always invested, always hedged. So,
right.
Yep.
So Rob, let me just interject a second. So you're invested all the time, but you said it, one of the key components of your strategy is that you're always hedged as well, correct?
Always. And if I have any superpower as a strategist, it's that I've been using ETFs to hedge for so long that I use a very wide variety of them. It's kind of like a golfer that goes out to play around, and he doesn't just have a pitching wedge. He's got 4 or 5 wedges in his bag. So he's always got a way to kind of play that short game, if you will. I've got a pretty good short game, I like to think. Definitely not on the golf course, but in the portfolios. So, all right. And then the growth portfolio, the other one. So, we're having some early success with a couple of more aggressive positions. As a matter of fact, I was just talking with Soumya, our analyst, and I said to her, think of growth as kind of Rob's alter ego. I'm the son of a guy who grew up in New York City in the Depression, so I'm conservative by nature, and avoiding the big loss is my number one investment rule. But the growth portfolio, which we introduced to Tactive more recently, is kind of like that alter ego. So I'm sitting here looking at the portfolio, and 20% of it, actually 30% of it, is divided between Block, which is investing in the blockchain companies, and we're up a quick 9% in a matter of days on that one. We're just as we sit here speaking, our Palladium position, symbol PALL, is up 8% for the day and now positive since we bought it. We own a micro cap position, the smallest stocks in index form. We own a kind of FANG heavy ETF, symbol FDN, and we own uranium, symbol URA, because there is a little bit of a bullish tilt to the commodities space, after a bit of doldrums for a couple months. And all that kind of supports a core position in OEF, which is the top 100 S&P stocks by size. So yeah, there's our alter ego portfolio growth. And we find that when you mix it with core, you get a really nice 1-2 punch.
Well, thanks for that update. Is there anything else you'd like to let the advisors know that during this week's call, Rob?
Yeah, actually, if you will, a couple of I wouldn't say promotional items, but to the extent that Tactive Nation, likes to know what its strategists are doing, kind of on the outside. I'm going to be the guest next Thursday at noon on a Twitter Space session with a guy named Michael Guyad. Michael Guyad is pretty well known in some parts of our industry. Mike has 670,000 Twitter followers, and I am his featured guest for an hour this Thursday at noon. He'll be firing all kinds of questions at me, and he tends to get hundreds, if not thousands, of people on these things. So I'm going to tell him what I think. So that's coming up. I also did the Market Beat podcast with my pal Kate Stalter. That is available everywhere. And I can truly say, Rick, that it is, I think, the probably most focused and sharpest 20-minute discussion that I've had with anybody about investing this year. And so I would advise the advisors to check that out as well on the Market Beat podcast.
All right. Well, thanks for that update, Rob. Anybody who wants to listen to those podcasts, feel free to go right on over. Hey, Rob, can you go ahead and how would someone find out how to listen to these podcasts?
Well, if you go to marketbeat.com, you should see it. They've been promoting the heck out of it on social media and also on their website. The Mike Guyad Twitter space, you have to be on Twitter, and once you do, just go to Guyad, which is Gayed. It's called the Lead Lag Live, because he runs a newsletter called Lead Lag Report. So yeah, and if you're not sure you can't find it, just flip me an email and I'll email you the link.
Perfect. All right. Well, everybody, if you have any questions for Rob or any of the things that he's working on, feel free to reach out to him. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to talk to you. And Rob, I hope you have another great weekend and another great week, and I will speak with you for our advisors next Friday.
All right. Thanks, Rick. Pleasure.